Let's talk about the Status Toolbar. If you're familiar with previous versions of FileMaker, you'll remember that the Status Toolbar was actually called the status area. But they've completely redesigned it. It looks gorgeous. It's really a beautiful looking status area, so it really deserved a new name, Status Toolbar. And one of the reasons for the new name is because the toolbars, which were in previous versions of FileMaker, are no longer there. But they've actually kept that functionality, as you'll see as you go through this information on the Status Toolbar. So you've got to remember that even though it looks gorgeous, it's very modern, and this Status Toolbar has been moved up to the top rather than on the left in previous versions. It's not just cosmetic. There's actually a lot of functionality here, and we're going to go over it in this section right now as well as later sections. So be prepared for this to be a very valuable area for you where it may have not been as much before. I mean, certainly you'll use it a lot. It's indispensable, as you'll find out, but I think you'll find it even more valuable, not just pretty to look at. So let's start off with some things we've already actually covered, but let's go over them again. You have the Rolodex, or the book icon. You can see it's dimmed right here because we're on record 41, or one of these 41 records. So we can't go to the left, you can't click on it. But we can go to the next record, and you can see now it's not dimmed. Now we're on record 2 of the 41 found. And if we go back, you'll see that it dims out again. So it's very simple to walk through your records and see which records you want to be on. Then right next to it you have your slider toolbar. So you can drag this very quickly to the record you want, if you happen to know what it is, and you'll get right to it. Here's record 28. Just transported you right there. We can go quickly back to record 1 if you want. That's probably my favorite thing, to go to the beginning or the end, because it's kind of difficult to tell where you want to go in the middle. You can also, of course, come in here and type in whatever record you want. I'll type in 1, and either hit the enter key or the return key, and it takes you right there. Now this is new for FileMaker Pro 10 and FileMaker Pro 10 Advanced. This little indicator right here shows you visually how many records you have and what you're looking at. So the light green is what you have, the dark green is what you don't have. So we have 2 records out of the found set. So I just really like this. It kind of, you can glance up there and say, oh, I'm not looking at very many records. And if you want to look at specifically, you can look to the right, but it's always easier to look at an icon and visualize it. Of course, if you go up here and you omit records, which just takes them out of the found set, so we'll take Billy out of the found set, you'll see that that little piece of the pie gets a little bit bigger as this changes. You'll also see that it tells you have your found and your total records. So this is your found records. These are your total records. 43 total records. You'll also see that it says unsorted. Now you could have unsorted or sorted or semi-sorted. Now semi-sorted is very rare these days with the new maintain sort order or persistent sort order feature in FileMaker, and we'll go over that later, but briefly, it always keeps, once you sort, even if you add a record or edit a record, it will continue to sort your database, so it's always sorted for you. That was what semi-sorted was before. It was if you added a record in there or edited a record, one of the fields specifically that was sorted by, it couldn't tell you that it was sorted. It was semi-sorted. So you will only usually see semi-sorted in a few situations, such as if you import data, and that may be a situation where you'll see it. Because if you import data and replace data in the found set rather than adding new records, if it was sorted before, well, it's really not going to be necessarily sorted anymore. It'll be semi-sorted at that point. But sorted and unsorted is really only what you're going to see for the most part here.